Alright, today I wanted to go over a handful of little features that this bike offers, the 2021 BMW S1000RR. I want to go for a ride and point out some of my favorite features of this bike and things that I think that bring a lot of value to owning this bike. The BMW, this particular bike it's got a ton of features that I'm not going to list in this video because I'm going to try to focus on the features that the everyday rider can utilize. Not necessarily people that are trying to race and stuff like that, because this thing's got all the race features that you could want. But as an everyday rider or just a street rider or anything like that, that's the features I'm gonna try to focus on today. But anyway, I'm gonna go for a ride and we'll talk about that here right now. All right, so I was gonna go for a ride and then it occurred to me that my first favorite feature of this bike actually happens before I even get on the bike. All right, so hopefully you can see this on my screen, but I'm just sitting at the house and I want to go riding. So if I open up the app here, it'll actually tell me, this is an important thing, before I even go to the bike, it'll tell me fuel gauge right on your phone. I don't even have to go to the bike. It's basically telling me what the bike was reading right as I parked it last. So now that I know that I have enough fuel, I've already checked this, it's telling me that I've got 126 miles to go before I need to fill up again. I think we're ready to ride. So that is feature number one out of the way. Let's go see what else we can find. All right, so the first feature, we already knocked that out with the app, but to go along with the app, we're actually gonna turn the bike on, and the phone is actually going to connect to the bike, and the bike is gonna connect to my Bluetooth. If you look on the screen, I don't know if you can see that or not, but the Bluetooth is blinking. It's looking for my headset. And just kind of a pro tip that I've kind of figured out from riding for a little bit and trying to deal with this is that my phone will automatically connect to the bike when I turn the bike on. And once it starts blinking like that, that's when I will turn on my Bluetooth headset on my helmet. I find that that's the easiest way to get it to connect. So I've ran into some connectivity issues if I turn the headset on before I turn the bike on. I don't know if it's just mine. I have a Scala Rider 3, which is a little bit older, but it still does the job. Now the advantage to being able to connect the phone and everything into the display here is if I go over here to my Wonder Wheel and my menu button, if I go down, I can go over. I don't know about you guys, but I like listening to music while I ride. So if I go there, media, go down, Wonder Wheel over, it'll automatically start playing what my phone was playing. Now I use YouTube Music on my phone, which connects directly through here. And if I go back up, now it'll tell me what's playing. I can go back and forth, I can change the song, everything from the Wonder Wheel right over here. Another thing that I really like about the whole dash display here, if we go up here, we go down, we go over to my vehicle. And I hope you guys can see this on the screen, but here it gives you all the information about your bike. All on one easy to read screen. It tells you how many miles you have till empty. It's going to tell you your engine temp, and it also is going to tell you what your tire pressure is front and back, which that is a big thing for me. I mean, typically on every other bike, you're spending a couple minutes or whatever trying to check over your bike and everything before you go riding. With this, it allows you to keep an eye on it on the fly, which I think's pretty awesome. The next big thing on my list here, I'm going to talk about the cruise control, because I use this a lot more than I thought I would. Basically, you just have a switch over here, you slide that, and whatever speed you're at, you click it forward, there's a little button there, and then you're on full cruise control. So then you can basically just relax. You can relax your hand a little bit, cruise the speed limit. You don't have to worry about really anything. It's just going to do its thing. Now the way that you can cancel that out, you can either hit that switch back to the off position if you have any input on any of your levers. Like if I pull my clutch in, it disengages. I would not recommend using the brakes, or at least the front brake, because it'll dip you. So if I hit that brake, I don't know, it's just a dip. I don't really like that. The other way that you can actually disengage it is if you take your throttle and very kind of gently roll it forward, it'll disengage the cruise control. Another great feature that I don't get to use a whole lot because I live in Florida, which is very flat, but there's a lot of places with hills. So you're sitting at a red light and you don't want to sit there and hold on to your brake the whole time. This thing actually has like a hill start assist, which if you just take your front brake and just give it a nice squeeze, you get this H up here, which means hill, and it basically locks the brakes for you. So like right now, I cannot move forward, I can't move backwards. It's just gonna hold the bike in place, and it'll be there until I either put it in gear and start taking off. It'll hold me until I start moving myself, and then it'll kick itself off. Or if you turn it back on and you just hit your brake again, it'll turn it off. Great feature if you live in a hilly area. In fact, we were up in the mountains a couple weeks ago, and if you've been out there, it's very, very hilly, and there's definitely a lot of stop signs and red lights that are literally on top of a hill, and you're rolling back the whole time. That was a great feature to have, and it allowed me to just hold the bike in place and just kind of chill until we had to take off again. Hill start assist is amazing. I love that feature a lot. I just wish I could use it more. Another great feature of this bike that I don't get to use a whole lot around here, because again, I live in Florida, it's a million degrees all the time. But again, when I was up in the mountains a couple weeks ago, it was kind of cold and we got rained on. It was just not the best conditions all the time. But what got me through was the heated grips. Now over here, in fact, let's do this. We'll set the cruise control so I can free up this hand. I can talk about the heated grips over here. So we've got heated grip button right here. So if you push that, it's going to give you 3 levels. You've got level 3, which is the hottest. Hit it again, level 2, which is going to be in the middle, obviously. And then level 1, which is just going to be kind of like the lowest level, I guess, right? Hit it again, it turns it off. Now these heated grips, you don't realize how big of a difference that makes. I couldn't believe how big of a difference that made just by having a little bit of heat applied to my hands. The rest of my body warmed up accordingly. I couldn't believe it. It doesn't really matter what bike you have. They sell aftermarket heated grip kits, and I recommend that to basically everybody. You never know when you're going to need it. Even in Florida, in the not summertime, but in the winter time, they can be extremely useful just because it gets cold around here too. All right, and then obviously you've got your mode button over here too, which is going to take you through dynamic. You've got your race mode, you're going to have your rain mode, road mode, all those different types of modes that are just standard modes for the bike, depending on the type of riding you're doing and all that good stuff. 9 times out of 10 I have it in dynamic, which basically is going to give me the power output and throttle response of race, but it's going to soften the suspension just a little bit more like a rain or road mode. So it's a good in-between that's comfortable for my style of street riding. The cool feature is the auto-canceling turn signal. So as you see, I've got my left turn signal on, obviously, because I'm turning. I'm in this turn lane right here. And once we hit the turn, it cancels itself out. I don't know how it works. In fact, it doesn't always work. It doesn't work all the time. Sometimes if you're like switching lanes or anything like that, like I'm going to switch a lane right here, see if it cancels itself. It didn't cancel itself that time. I don't know what, I don't know. But sometimes it works, and the auto canceling is pretty badass. One thing that I kind of wasn't a huge fan of at the beginning was a quick shifter, but I've gotten used to it. It's actually really smooth. You just got to be at the right RPM range. And sometimes some of the lower RPM ranges, like right there, I'm just shifting between 3rd and 4th, and it's very, very smooth. I see a 5th, and drop back down. It's just very, very smooth. But the more impressive spot's going to be when you're really getting on it. So that's just a way, I don't know. It's just fun. It's just fun. Quick shifter's a big thing. No matter what bike I go with after this one, it will have heated grips, and it will have cruise control, and it will have a quick shifter. Not that I'm saying this bike's going anywhere anytime soon, but just throwing it out there. Those are the 3 things that I absolutely love about this bike. Alright, so on top of all those things, everything this bike has to offer, everything is super easy to use while you're riding. Everything is conveniently located. It's simple, so muscle memory kind of takes over when you want to do certain things. Like for instance, I'm riding right now. I'm actually coming up to a light. I should probably be paying attention, but I know exactly where my media is, so I can actually pay attention to what I'm doing. Plus I can get to the music I want to pay attention to. And I can go over, I can change the music while I'm doing everything else. It's just very, very, I don't know, It's a very, very smart system, I have to say. Alright. So yeah, with that being said, I love this bike. Alright, so those are my favorite things about the bike, at least for my street style of riding. Those are my favorite features that I use all the time. I'm starting to see more and more people get their bikes delivered. I know a lot of people have had deposits on this bike for a very long time, and they're finally starting to get delivered, which is super exciting. I'm starting to see more and more content with this bike. So if you're one of the people that just got your 2021, leave a comment below. I'd like to hear what your favorite features are, things that maybe I need to check out, because I know that I haven't even tried out all the features. I know there's all kinds of stuff like the Rider Pro modes, we've got the launch control, the wheelie control. There's all these things that are performance-wise, and the things I talked about today are more for your everyday commuting. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this content, please hit the like button, subscribe. I've got more content coming on this bike, and probably gonna be touching base with TST on these lights. If you haven't seen the TST Industries integrated taillights for the 2021 BMW S1000RR, check out my channel. I've got a video, kind of like a review on those. I got the prototype, and I'm super excited for the rest of you guys to get these lights. I think you're gonna love them. Anyway, until next time.